Practical Patriots and Practical Preppers, y'all to Gross, South Texas. Hey folks, Johnny Practical Nurse. Some of y'all asked me to chime in on what I think about this subject about the Russian ammo import ban, and here we go. Well, for starters, I think it sucks. That's just my opinion. I think it's terrible. I think that we have seen the last of the cheap, plentiful AK ammunition. I think this is a politician's backdoor hook on making sure that the average American does not have cheap, plentiful ammunition. That's all I think this is. Why is that? This stuff has always been cheaper than, say, 5.56 or 308, 7.62, those kind of typical rounds. It's always been plentiful. When 5.56 was scarce, I could always find this right here. But now that they've started this import ban, I think we've seen the last of the cheap, plentiful ammunition when it comes to our AKs. Now, I think it's going to be even harder on the 5.45 by 39. Why is that? Well, for starters, a majority of it, if you look at these boxes, all three of these right here, these three right here, these are all made in Russia. Even this one right here, if I can get this to focus, made in Russia. Monarch from Academy. This right here, this is made in a factory called Vimpel. So I can get it in there. Which is in Russia. The only one of this right here, the only 5.45 by 39 ammunition that I have, that you can find is the Red Army Standard. This was made in the Ukraine. Okay. I think we've seen the end to very cheap, back when it was like, $5, $6 a box of 20. I think that's going to be gone. Now, will we see it still come in the country? Probably, if like the Ukraine and former combat countries, step up to the plate and start sending it to us. I think that's great. Not Russia. I think like the Ukraine, a few other places. The reason why, like I said, I think it's going to be hard to find is because this is the common caliber now for Russia and the former Soviet Union, the former combat countries. They use it right now for their military, so I think it's going to be harder to get. You may recognize these right here. This is 5.45 by 39 made by Hornady, and they have that really neat tip on there. I think the reason that one didn't take off too well was because we had this option right here, the cheap, plentiful stuff, and the Hornady was a little bit more expensive. So hopefully Hornady did not, throw their dies away, throw their ability, to manufacture that bullet, because I think like Ukraine and a few other places and Hornady can possibly still supply us. Now, is it going to be as cheap as this stuff? No, absolutely not. I felt really lucky by going to a gun show in Fort Worth the other day and talking to a guy named Dave who owns a company called Tactical Beard Shooting Supply, and he had the most reasonably priced 5.45 by 39 that I could find at the Fort Worth gun show. And everyone else wanted about $1 a bullet, and I'm sorry, maybe that's just how gun shows are. I noticed that the price of ammunition was totally jacked up to $1 a round. I didn't like that very much. Maybe that's just me. That's not my price range. When it comes to 7.62 by 39, this is my opinion on that. Many countries make 7.62 by 39. I'm pretty sure we still do here in America. However, that said, I think this is going to be like back in the day when Tula made the 40-round boxes for like $10. I think that's going to be gone. Monarch, I could still, when I can find it, the 7.60 by 39, it's about $7 a box. This right here, even though this is Red Army Standard, this is still made where? Let's see if I can get this to kind of zoom in here. Made in Russia. Okay. I think Red Army Standard kind of gets their ammunition from various countries and places, but we'll just see after that how this turns out. Now, I just think that even just like the 5.45 by 39, this is going to be harder to find. Now, I think it's going to be the price is going to go up. Is it doomsday for us 5.45 by 39 shooters? I don't think so, but there are all some alternatives that I would think you might consider, and let me just show you what those are. Some of y'all may remember this rifle, the Polish Tontal. It had a few issues when it was being sold. Some of them did. They had 5.56 barrels. So my question is, can we not take If we can no longer get 5.45 by 39 ammo, can we not take our AK-74s and have them adapted to, put a 5.56 barrel in there? Is that possible? Entrepreneuring young people. Brandon Herrera, how possible is that? The other alternative is this. Don't let this shock you. What if you are AR curious? Okay. A lot of people think that I hate the AR platform, and that's not true. I just had some bad incidences. Is that even a word? Incidents when I was in the U.S. Army with the M16A1, and trust me, I never forgot it. And I was always shy away from the platform. Now that I've got to know the platform a little better as a civilian, I have a couple of these, but, it might be something to think about. Investing into 5.56 ammunition, investing in an AR. There's that thought. Well, here's another one. All right, Kemosabis, when you must be swift, silent, and deadly, and definitely subsonic, why not a bow and arrow? Okay? It's just a thought. Okay? So, it's a possibility. I'm sitting here talking to people about, and they ask me, what if I run out of ammo? Well, think like a native. Start getting familiar with a bow and arrow. Talk to some of these bow hunters we have here in Texas. Serious. They are very serious about their game. So this is another option. A lot of people talk about ammo buying remorse. Some people are out there trying to shame people for buying ammo when they find it, and I will tell them this. I do not blame anyone when they find a good deal and they buy what they can. Some people can just, like me, just buy a few boxes at a time. Some people can buy cases. But I kind of refer back to everyone that I have ever run into has at some point in their lifetime saw something that was affordable and it was on the shelf and it was ready for purchase, and then they talked themselves out of it. Well, I have the money, but, I really need, a set of new tires. I want to buy something for that special person, blah, 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 blah. And they walk away from it thinking that when they come back in 2 or 3 weeks, it'll still be there at a low price. And guess what happens? Gone. Okay? Is that not what we're facing now? It's gone. It's no longer there. It's no longer cheap. It's no longer plentiful. My history was the SKS. When I was in college, they were plentiful. They were everywhere. They were $75 a copy, and guess what? You don't see that anymore. So I'm going to tell everyone this. This is what I'm doing, and you can do what I do or not. But if I find this ammo sitting around on a shelf, and it's at a reasonable price, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy it, and I'm going to stack it up deep, and I'm not going to feel bad about it at all. So I don't have ammo buyer's remorse because I've been there. I've been there when I actually felt remorse for not getting it. So, anyone I know that takes their shooting as serious as I do or more, which is mostly more, you know what? We're just going to pick it up. We're going to get it. And that's all there is to that. A lot of us, that were having to work during, the stimulus check, handouts, whatever you want to call it, I'm not ashamed to say that I took half of the smallest one and I went and bought a bunch of ammo. Went and bought a lot of 5.56. I went and bought 5.45 by 39 and 9mm. And you know what? That was back then prices. Think about when those stimulus checks came out. And do I feel bad about it at all? Not at all. I still get to enjoy my shooting. I'll replace, the couple of 20-round boxes that I take to the range because I don't shoot as much as I used to. Mostly because of time and having to work, but no remorse whatsoever. Most people I know, we just get what we can. It's your money. You spend it how you want to. I'll spend mine how I want to, and there you have it. Well, questions, comments, man, leave them below. Tell me what y'all think. I mean, this is definitely how I'm seeing this. I think this whole thing sucks. I think that this is the politicians' way of making sure that we don't have ammo. I don't think the Russians care one bit. I don't think the American politicians care one bit about what the incident that occurred. And if you watch the news lately, you will find out that the administration that we currently have doesn't care really about the average American Joe or Judy. All right, like I said, questions, comments, leave them below. I think it's important that you get what you can while you can. Out here. I'll see you all shortly.